Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome to Strange Horticulture. Not a game I planned on making videos about, but I really enjoyed the demo, so here we are. Now I figure we'll do some really casual gameplay, kick the tire so to speak, just enough to show what the gameplay is like and what it has to offer. I will say though, it's definitely not going to be a game for everyone. It's very casual and slow-paced. Almost like ASMR, the game. The genre's a little hard to nail down. There are elements of a shop simulator and of a visual novel, though I think that's largely just set dressing. I would personally describe it as a matching-based puzzle game, where you have to use clues to identify various mysterious plants and then properly apply them to various situations. Of course, we will be jumping in momentarily, so you can see for yourself, but before we do, I should really thank the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. It's thanks to folks like them that I can actually invest time in these random side projects, which I do appreciate. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's see just how strange this horticulture can actually get. The streets of Undermere are narrow and claustrophobic. In many places, the buildings lean out at the upper floors so that neighbors can reach across and shake hands. Or, more likely, exchange unpleasantries. Strange Horticulture is a small shop situated away from the main thoroughfares, but it has the advantage of being one of the few buildings in Undermere that stands alone. Plants, you may have noticed, need light, and light is in short supply at street level in this town. Recently, the shop passed to me after the death of my uncle. There is much to learn, but one thing is already clear. The rare and unusual plants that he stocked have their uses, after all. Day 1, Friday. And we're right into it. And right off the bat, I'll say this layout has a strong Papers, Please sort of vibe to it, which I really appreciate. Also, there is a cat you can pet, which I also very much appreciate. Anyway, let's have a look at this letter that's waiting for us. I found it! An excerpt on the elusive Wandering View. Come to the library in Ambleside and I'll tell you all about it. I even found something on the Gilded Dendra that might be of interest. Simone. P.S. Give Hellbore a good scratch behind the ear from me. Yeah, I think I can do that. That is hands down the best mechanic. Let's see what else we've got here. The Strange Book of Plants by Wilfred Voynich. A map of Undermere and the surrounding area. A magnifying glass. Possibly a medallion or some sort of code wheel. We've also got labels and another note. Dangerous plant. Grows sparsely in the hills to the northeast of Backbarrow. Keep it secret. Intriguing. And we have another paper here. A drawing of a flower, no context. Ah, I see. So we have a 5-digit flower-based combination lock hidden on our desk, which obviously we're not going to solve with just one symbol. We do have some leads, though, so let's do some exploring. You can water your plants using the watering can to earn the will to explore. Noted. Drag a plant here to take a closer look at it. I have a growing fear deep within me. I cannot let it take hold. Yeah, we've all been there. Well, we have leads, but no will to explore. So let's ring in our first customer. Actually, let's consolidate our stock real quick. Alright, good enough. Let's ring in the first customer. Oh, Helbor. Sorry about that, sweetheart. Victoria Gray. I must have walked past this shop 100 times without ever stopping to look. What a wonderful place to spend your day, surrounded by plants. I came here because I have an unusual request. At night, I hear whispered voices, too faint to hear clearly, coming from the floor above me. But nobody lives up there. The rooms are empty. My curiosity has got the better of me. I must find out what they are saying. St. John's Poppy. Alright, let's give that a look. A note from the author. This encyclopedia can be used as a reference to help identify plants. Note that where I have included sketches, these are not always intended as an aid to identification. Often the description will be more useful to you. Remember to take extra care when dealing with poisonous plants. I accept no responsibility should injury or death occur as a result of misuse of this encyclopedia. W.V. Fair enough. St. John's Poppy. Papaver velemity. The vibrant petals of this flower can be brewed to create a draught, which can greatly improve the imbiber's hearing ability. Yeah, that makes sense. The flowers of the St. John's Poppy are a bright red with a yellow center. The flowers are red with a sweet scent. Well, that one's pretty obvious, I think, but we are on day 1, so obviously they're easing us into things. We have 3 options on label colors. We'll do yellow for speculative IDs, blue for confirmed, and red for dangerous. Since our late uncle's note has clearly indicated there are, in fact, hazardous plants in this game. We'll also start sorting these things as we ID them. There's our first positive ID. And in lieu of payment, we have instead received a page torn out of our uncle's book on plants. Thanks. Clavilium. Marcelli clavis. According to legend, clavilium can be used to open any lock, no matter how complex or secure. The heart-shaped leaves have earned this plant the nickname Lovelock. Well, that is quite a claim. So, heart-shaped leaves. The flowers are made up of many smaller blue flowers. They smell pleasant. Alright. There's no mention of flowers in the description for clavilium, but this is the only plant we have with heart-shaped leaves. So the flowers might just be incidental, or a red herring. I think we'll tag that one, but we'll do it in yellow. Clavilium. You know, we should probably start working our way through this book. We'll do it in small batches between customers. Whoop. Bishop's Parasol. Episcopus pellebant. A mushroom found in dark, damp places, feeding on any light that gets close to it. It can seem to draw light in, enveloping its surroundings in darkness. The gills on the underside of this mushroom seep a milky fluid that can be consumed as a treatment for stomach pains. Okay, well, we only have 2 mushrooms right now, so let's have a look at those. It smells strongly of soured milk, bad enough to make my eyes water. Which is thematically similar, but not quite the same. Smelling is not the same as seeping. Not as spongy as most mushrooms. In fact, the undersides are somewhat sharp. Red spores protrude from the caps. Interesting. But definitely not what we're looking for. I think it's safe to say we just don't have that one yet. Farmer's Worry, Agricola timor. A spongy mushroom with potent abilities, only safe to consume in small quantities. Grants great strength for short periods at the expense of severe fatigue once the effect is worn off. And in this case, the illustration does not match either of the 2 mushrooms we already have. Plus, the one with spores specifically mentioned it was not spongy. So again, I think this is one we just don't have. Okay, let's try one more. We have to ID at least one. Forest Camphor, Chamomum silva. The strong-smelling bulb of this plant has a powerful soporific effect, making it a common ingredient in sleeping draughts. The camphor produces a beautiful, rounded, dark blue cluster, made up of many smaller flowers. It's pungent, but not unpleasant. The bulb is a soft yellow. The leaves are waxy. Strong-smelling bulb. Rounded cluster of dark blue flowers. I think that's about as positive an idea as we can get in this game without them outright confirming it. Oops. I think that's enough for now. Let's ring in the next customer. David Chafer. Good morning. Bloody awful weather out there today. Good for the plants, though, eh? Got a letter for you. Why, thank you. I'll take that. This letter, it fills me with determination. Or the will to explore. Gosforth is a hateful town. I was beaten and robbed and left to die in the streets. After many days, I was rescued by a kind stranger, just as I had come to fear that wickedness had infected the hearts of every soul in that cursed place. I began my recovery in the woods to the south of the town with a group of travelers. On the northeast corner of the wood, I sat and stared at a bright flower, and tears flowed down my face at the reminder that there is beauty in this world. I shall be returning to Undermere soon. Warmest regards, Amos Duncan. Interesting. Gosforth. So we now have 3 leads. And we have will to explore, so let's start working our way through these. Ambleside, Backbarrow, Gosforth. Now we are here in Undermere. Oh, and there's Ambleside. That was easy. The library here in Ambleside is one of my favorite haunts. Simone, the librarian, is always helpful and friendly, and shares some of my passion for unusual plants. Today, she's grinning ear to ear, and can't wait to show me what she's found. Nice. Show me what you got. Gilded Dendra, Morisca obitus. Do not drink the sap of this plant. The lips and veins will turn black as the blood succumbs to Dendra's miasma, a sure and painful way to die. The poison is so potent that even touching the leaves of the plant can be painful. Wandering Bew, Bullium vagus. So called because this fungus can move slowly in the dark. It has been known to cover distances of up to several meters in a single night. The gills on the underside of this mushroom form beautiful, flowing lines. They are also quite hard and sharp, earning this plant the nickname Fingers Bane. Oh, well that one sounds like, yeah, in fact, you can even see the spores along the edges of the illustration. Okay, let's get this one tagged. Not sure about Gilded Dendra, though. Ah, and I guess we're done with this. Let's go ahead and fill in some gaps here. We just read Gilded Dendra, so let's do the two before it. Foxbutton, Camomum vulpis. An offering of foxbutton is considered by some to represent a contract of friendship between strangers. Thick, shiny leaves grow in opposing pairs along the stems. So small, thick, shiny leaves growing parallel on the stem. Small leaves, delicate flowers. Blue flowers, stiff leaves. Stiff leaves could be synonymous with thick leaves. But the illustration doesn't quite match up. This one, though. It smells of nothing that I can detect. Yeah, see, the shape is a lot more similar on the leaves, though they are spaced closer together in the illustration. I think that one's our best bet. We'll go ahead and tag it for now. Foxbutton. Then we have Gandy root, Apis demesis, a plant with medicinal properties that can aid with digestive troubles when prepared correctly. Care must be taken, however, as the rough leaves can be an irritant. Only the petals are safe for consumption. Rough leaves, very distinctive flowers. The leaves are coarse to the touch. Yep, I think it's safe to say that's Gandy root. Which I believe brings us right up to Gilded Dendra, which has grass-like leaves that are poisonous to the touch. None of these are jumping out at me, so we may just not have that one. But we do have Will to Explore, so let's see if we can track down Backbarrow. No, the hills northeast of Backbarrow. Hills northeast of Backbarrow. Hills northeast of Backbarrow. Oh, there it is. Backbarrow. Hills northeast. The weather changes fast out in the hills. What started as a gray morning has turned into bright sunshine. A good thing, too, because it takes me several hours to find what I came for. By the time I'm done, The cloud is sweeping back over, a cloak of unwelcome shade. Very ominous. Hey, look at that. Grass-like leaves on a plant we know is dangerous. We're done with that. And let's have a look here. Red fruits, long flat leaves. But no mention of discomfort at the touch, which seems like it would be a pretty big detail. The leaves are similar, but there's no mention of fruits in the book, and there's no mention of poisonous leaves in the analysis. So yeah, I'm not comfortable tagging that one as Gilded Dendra. I think there's too many inconsistencies, but we will tag it in red, because our uncle specifically mentioned it was dangerous in that note he left. So dangerous, he apparently wasn't comfortable having it in his shop, which is somewhat unsettling. Hellbore. Gilbert Ames. Something's got those witches in the forest stirred up. They're not letting anyone through. I had to take the long way round, down through Back Barrow. I never did trust that sisterhood. Anyway, I'm here now, and I brought Fennett from the south to trade for some lemon dandy. Hardly worth the trouble when you factor in the extra miles I've had to cover to get here. Yeah, it is just rough all over. He's also offering Fennett in trade, which we don't have an entry for. Lemon Dandy, Citrum crispus. Its curled leaves are thought to be the origin of the name of this plant, supposedly referring to a peeled lemon rind. Okay, very distinctive flowers and curly leaves. Among several medicinal uses, the flower of the lemon dandy is mostly associated with curing afflictions of the heart. The smell is faintly off-putting, but not overpowering. Well, that's not much help. But we do have 2 points of commonality. We have the very distinctive flowers, and we have the very distinctive corkscrew leaves, which do resemble a decoratively peeled citrus rind. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Very nice. Instant confirmation. And then he called this plant Fennett with a PH. So we'll take his word on that and just tag it as Fennett. For now. See, with the Gilded Dendra, we only had 1 point of commonality. I'm a lot more comfortable with at least 2. Harlequin Blue, Scura cerulea. When the bushy blue flower heads die back, they release seeds with a downy pappus, which assists in wind dispersal. Once dried and hardened, the stems can be burned as incense. As they burn, they let out high-pitched shrieks, widely believed to be the spirits of dead souls trapped within the plant. Interesting. Visually similar to the one we just tagged as Lemon Dandy, though not quite the same. Oh yeah, this looks to be a much better match. Blue flowers, light airy scent. Yeah, that's 2 points of commonality. I like that font. That is very aesthetically pleasing. I like a lot of the aesthetics of this game. Alright, we've got Will to explore, so we're headed for Gosfirth. Or rather, the forest south of Gosfirth. Northeast corner. Gosfirth. Gosfirth is north of a forest. Oh, there it is. So we are headed here. The wood has a calming effect on my mind. It does me good to escape into nature, away from the stench and clamor of Undermere. It is not long before I spy a bright flower among the trees. Nice, nice. Oh my. That is nice. A single, sweet-smelling, dark flower. Not much we can glean from that just yet. We'll set it aside for now. Mary's Breath. Salatum regis. The wide waxy leaves allow this plant to collect the large amount of water it requires. It is said that a person can be bound to secrecy using Mary's Breath. It used to be grown in the royal gardens so that the king could ensure the trust of his confidants. But the practice fell out of favor. Wide waxy leaves. Smooth waxy leaves. Waxy leaves? Shape seems about right. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that. Let's get that tagged and move it over. Getting a little crowded here. I'll have to space things out later. What have we got next? Mellow Glow, Cincinus maturus. Among other uses for this plant, the most remarkable is that it can allow a person to pass unnoticed. Though not invisible, it is possible to become hidden from sight and memory. The Mellow Glow has sharp thorns that protect it from predators. I mean, we only have one plant with thorns, so by default that would make it our leading contender for Mellow Glow. We'll reevaluate if we find anything else with thorns. Good enough. We have Will to explore, so let's do some exploring. We don't actually have any clues left at this point, so I guess we'll just start working our way across the map, see if that gets us anything. Tibet. You wouldn't think, following the modern railway line into Tibet, that this prosperous village was once home to a notorious prophetess. Mary Baines, a local witch, haunted the locals with her tales about the end of the world. Although such prognostications may seem quaint nowadays, her grave in the churchyard is still avoided by all in the village, and nothing grows there. Unsettling. Though we didn't get anything out of that, aside from some intriguing trivia, which is fine. That might help flesh out the story later. Mary Baines. Elbor, could you please send in the next customer? Faye Swift. My dreams are becoming more vivid. I saw a woman, her face hidden behind a mask, and next to her, a terrifying black skeletal creature. It stood tall, its roving head scanning the landscape, and though it had no discernible face, I could sense a hint of an expression about its features. It seemed to be laughing, but not the joyous laughter of a child, a sickly, horrifying laughter that chilled me like the first breath of winter. These past weeks have been getting worse. I need sleep. Yikes. Okay. Faye Swift, the psychic. Faye grew up with her mother. Her father was rarely violent, but once is enough. When he struck her, it finally broke the hold he had over her mother, and she fled into the night. The sleeping Faye held close. Faye often has vivid dreams, but has never considered that other people do not. She came to Strange Horticulture seeking relief from her nightmares. Interesting. So she is the first character important enough to get her own biography, which does not bode well considering the tale of terror she is currently spinning for us. So yeah, we're barely into this. We still have 9 main characters to meet. Sorry, yes, Forest Camprey. I can help you with that. Here you go. Very nice. Butterdale. Bacterium dixerat. Inappropriate. Often found growing in clumps on valley sides, Butterdale has been used for centuries as a cure for all manner of skin rashes. The dark green leaves can be stewed and mulched to form a poultice. The flowers smell buttery to some people. Very distinctive leaves, and flowers that smell of butter. Alright. The purple flowers have a light, buttery scent. Well, look at that. Distinctive leaves and flowers that smell like butter. We'll just go ahead and tag that. And we also confirmed Forest Camprey. Will to explore. Sadgill. As I approach the small hamlet of Sadgill, the clouds thicken and the skies darken, echoing a sudden pensiveness that washes over me. A crow lands on the wall ahead, its beady black eyes fixed on me, as if to warn me of an impending danger. I push on in search of strange plants, but find nothing. Should have listened to the crow. From that description, you'd think that would have given us some points of rising dread. Not that I'm complaining. I think under normal circumstances, you only gain that if you misidentify plants. Speaking of which, Wren. Ipsum flavus. Kaiser. The long leaves of the wren are known to turn black in the presence of certain poisons, and so can be used to detect them. Though it has no flower, it is said to smell unpleasant to those who have known death, and sweet to those who have not. Right, and we did just inherit this shop from our deceased uncle. So we are looking for a grass-like plant with no flowers that smells unpleasant. Smells faintly of wood smoke. Feels like rough glass paper. Weird. But not, I think, what we're looking for. It has a scent which scratches at the back of my throat. Which does sound very unpleasant. Okay, we do technically have 2 points of commonality here. No flowers and an unpleasant scent. But the illustration looks significantly different. This thing is more like seaweed than grass. Let's try this. We already know that this one is supposed to be dangerous, which could imply poison. So we'll just put those two together and see if the fronds turn black. Winter boar, Aloe ceruleum, also known as blue aloe or blue winter after its cool blue-gray flowers. Winter boar is a hardy plant, often found growing in extreme cold environments. The rubbery leaves make an effective insect repellent when applied to the skin. Very distinctive blue-gray flowers with rubbery leaves. Visually similar to the one we just tagged as Butterdale, but obviously the wrong color. I think it's safe to say we just haven't found that one yet. And that gets us through our book's starting entries, so we are slowly but steadily making progress. Okay, let's head for Tarn Crag. I reach the top of the crag in double quick time. Below me, the tarn glistens and shimmers in the sunlight, enticing me with its deep blue hue. All around me, the fells ripple into the distance. After searching high and low for anything of significance, I decide enough is enough and head back. And once again, nothing. I don't think we're going to get much out of random exploration, at least not physically, but I do enjoy that style. The narrative prose and the rough, sort of sketched art, like someone's travel journal. I really like that. Nora Butterfield. Got any wandering view? That always reminds me of, what's his name? That old hermit inventor. The Wanderer. Anyway, the view, if you've got it. Sure. One meandering, finger-mauling mushroom coming right up. Nice. Oh, end of day. Well, that's a shame. Lady of Summer. Comatessa estavium. The leaves curl round delightfully, which, combined with an attractive flower and a hardy nature, make this a sought-after ornamental plant. Aids with conditions of memory deterioration associated with old age. Curled leaves, very distinctive orchid-like flower. I believe that's the black orchid we just collected from the forest near Gosforth. Let's tag it. Lady of Summer. I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. For the summer. Hey, cutie. Alright, folks. We're at the end of day one. I feel like this is a pretty natural breaking point, but I've really enjoyed this. It's very relaxing. A lot less stressful than some of the other games I've been working with recently. Ooh, we have Will to Explore. Let's have one last outing, then we'll call it quits. The Daughters, Stone Circle. This circle of ancient rhyolite boulders has been a site of ritual importance for hundreds of years. A lone pillar of red sandstone stands off to one side. Very mysterious. I do get the impression that these narrative blurbs do provide some valuable context for various story events. Not, of course, that we've actually seen much of the story. This is just the end of day one. The demo only covers the first 2 days, but I believe it's a 12-day campaign total, so we've barely scratched the surface. That said, I really wouldn't mind doing more of this. Like I said, it's very relaxing, though I'm not sure if it's actually all that entertaining to watch. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, both about the game and whether you might like to see me do more of this in the future. If there's enough interest, then I will pick up here next time. Maybe I'll see you then. Oh, and remember, although I did enjoy playing Strange Horticulture, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.